Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of ASMR. Today we have Alicia on the mic and I will be explaining how to solve for the equilibrium reaction using an ice table. Our first question says, use the following reversible reaction to calculate the equilibrium concentration of each species. Assume Kc is equal to 9.32 e to the negative third at the temperature of interest and that a 2.5 liter chamber is initially loaded with 0.05 moles of each of these three species. Now looking down at our equation, we see that CO2 plus PCO3 is ultimately equal to PCO5. Now going back to our question, the C in the beginning of Kc is telling me that I'm dealing with concentrations, so it is implied that I'm dealing with molarity in the units of everything. And when solving, make sure to have your products over reactants. So it's going to be Kc is equal to PCO3 C times CO2 all over PCO5. Moving forward for molarity, molarity is equal to moles over volume. So we have the 0.05 moles over 2.5 liters. Now let's begin our ice table. We're going to spell out ice vertically, the I for initial, the C for change, and the E for equilibrium. Now let's begin plugging in our numbers. In the first row, we write 0.02, then 0.02, and then 0.02 again. All by coincidence, we have the same number all throughout, going horizontally. So on the other side, now let's solve for Q. If you're not familiar with Q is the exact same expression as the equilibrium constant, so it's going to be 0.02. After solving, we see that the final answer is going to be 0.02. Now comparing the 0.02 to Kc, to the initial Kc being 9.32 e to negative 3, we see that 0.02 is larger, ultimately meaning Q's initial state is larger than K's initial state. Now, in the first box of C, we're adding x, but then in the last two boxes, we're going to be subtracting x. For your equilibrium concentration, aka rho E, you're going to completely add the values. So it's going to be in your first box 0.02 plus x, and then your last two boxes 0.02 minus x. Now putting it all together, you have 9.32 e to the negative 3 is equal to 0.02x minus x times 0.002 minus x all over 0.02 plus x. So doing algebra, we're going to get 1.864 to the negative 4 plus 9.32e, which equals 0.004 minus 0.04 plus x squared. Once distributed out, it's going to be x squared minus 0.493x plus 2136e to the negative 4 power equal to 0. So we solve for x to see that x is going to be 0.0445 or 0.00480. Now let's plug it in. Once plugging in both, 0.4 and 5 is a lot more difficult and doesn't really work. So we're going to plug in 0.0048 into the x, by the way. And so, coming up, we get PCl5 is equal to 0.0248. And since the PCl3 is equal to the CO2, it's going to come up as 0.015m. Thank you so much for listening, and this was ASMR.